guys, and welcome back to my channel. So remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll see that every time that I post. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the content, and anything you would like to add, feel free to do so down below in the comment section. So we are back for episode 4 of Blood and Water. Now we are back on the hunt to figure out if Fakili is Pulling's long lost sister, right? We start off with Chris doctoring up some footage of Pulling, and I was like, oh, this is about to be a mess. And not only is it him by himself, it's him, the guy Mark that he was kissing in the first or second episode, and Fix. And of course Fix is really mostly being driven by Chris, and a little bit of her being upset about the fact that he's making her think that Pulling did all this on purpose. Chris breaks into Wendy's laptop because Mark is like a mastermind hacker. And so he breaks into her laptop, and then he uploads this this video onto the school magazine website. And I'm just like, oh, this is about to be a mess. Pulling is calling that morning trying to figure out who B Jacka is. And she's not getting anywhere because she actually ran out of phone minutes. And I was like, girl, I didn't know. Well, that ain't my business. Let me hush. When she's leaving that morning, she sees her mom in Fumi's room actually cleaning the whole board and stuff off. Because she said more along the lines of she's ready to move on and, you know, just not give up hope, but she's just ready to move on because, you know, at this point it's been 17 years and she's not sure if she's gonna find her daughter. Yeah. When she gets to school, Wade comes and checks on her and she's like, why are you asking me am I okay? So he's like, you haven't seen it yet. She's like, seen what? So he shows her the video, bruh, and he also shows her, you know, what people are saying on the school website or whatever. And notice that both Wade and KB were in the comments, you know, like defending her and saying, you know, she didn't do anything, like get off her case. Wade reminds Pulling, he tells her, he's like, don't go fight with Wendy. He was like, remember why you came here, remember your mission, you're trying to figure out if she's your sister, like you don't need to be like getting kicked out of school and then you're gonna be back at square one. At first everybody is thinking it's Wendy anyways, since she's over the magazine, so she would have the password in order to upload videos and stuff like this. While Fakili and Chris are sitting over there looking guilty in the face on the hush hush, giving each other glances and looks. I was like, y'all, I can't. Oh, swim coach stops Fakili because I didn't even know she had him as a teacher, like in actual class. But he stops her and she's kind of been down in the dumps about her whole situation. So he's like, oh, let's make plans. And she's like, oh, well, what about Riley, who is his wife, pregnant wife? He's like, oh, I'll figure out something. I was like, And just like that, she was swindled right up and back on up into his little drama. And I was like, a mess. Both Wendy and Pulling end up in the principal's office. And Wendy is telling the principal, well, first Wendy is trying to defend herself and say that she didn't write what's on the magazine website. And Pulling is like, she's telling a lie because she did the same thing when she altered my article. And Wendy busts out telling some, I did what I felt needed to be done. And so I was like, okay, so you definitely incriminated yourself that you did the article and you wrote something bad just cause, so that kind of makes you look guilty, like you would have done this too by association. So the principal tells her she tells her, 1, you're suspended, and 2, like all your editing privileges are gone, like you're no longer on the magazine, the head, none of that. And so she's like, I'm suspended. Which now, when that lady told her that she was suspended, you know, she had the nerve to threaten her. I was like, girl, no, ma'am. Like, not the principal. But she threatened her. And so, you know, of course, the principal apologized to Pulling about, you know, everything that was going on. And Pulling is like, just don't tell my parents, I can handle it. I'm gonna be okay. KB being smart, he actually asked Fix, he was like, did you have anything to do with that video that was let out? And of course Fix with her line behind, we're best friends, we tell each other everything. Clearly not this, ma'am. But yeah, I wouldn't do this. La 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 la. I was like, okay. While Wade and Pulling are about to do their detective work and figure out who this person was that notarized the birth certificate, in walks Tahir, and Tahir comes into my some, can y'all save Wendy? Can y'all help Wendy? Because Wendy would help everybody else. I was like, I ain't seen Wendy help nobody yet. So you want me to put my neck out for her, but she not putting her neck out for nobody else. Girl, no. Let her take the suspension. You'll see her next year. Call her. Text her. Something like that. You better hang out outside of school. So Wade said, well, if Wendy really didn't do this, like, it'll come out that Wendy didn't do it. So he was like, just hold on. Just wait. We'll see. Wade calls Wendy, Tahira leaves. And so Wade calls the home affairs line again. And so this guy, Promise, picks up. And so he's like, they asked, you know who a B Jacket is? He hurried up and got off the line. He was like, B Jacket don't work here no more. I don't have nothing to say. Click. I was like, oh, suspicious. Suspicious. He lying. Palinga's like, no, we're not going to take that for an answer. We're going to go to the home affairs. So they actually, excuse me. So when they get there, Paling bribes doesn't bribe. She tells the security guard a lie that she's there to see Promise. He's her uncle and that he left his wallet, right? So he tells them where they can find Promise. Now they go back there and find Promise. And at first he's like, I don't have anything to tell you. I told you she doesn't work here anymore. And so, y'all know they bribed that man with a single pack of cigarettes. Not no money. Not nothing serious. Some cigarettes. I was like, that's all it took? Some cigarettes? So, okay. So, he tells them that Brenda Jacka actually was in prison for fraud. I was like, oh, there you go. She was in prison for fraud. Her, along with actually some other people who worked in the home affairs back 17 years ago. I think he said it had been like a few years since she had been in prison. Maybe the last 10, maybe. Something like that. And he says that that's all he knows. So, you know, they at least know now that fraud. So, she could have been out here notarizing stuff just because if you gave her a little extra money up under the table. Now, while KB is relentlessly texting Pauline, hey, are you there? Are you okay? Talk to me. Meet me here. She's not replying. And then you got Swim Coach at his house lying to his pregnant wife to I got some type of meeting tonight. I'll be back. Now, when he left, she gave him a little side eye, and I was like, oh, sis, no. Sis, no. Right? Him and Swim Coach and Fakili end up in a hotel room together. I was like, what is this grown man doing with this teenage girl in this hotel room? I was like, jail, prison, lock him up, throw away the key. Oh, my goodness. Sir. So, her mind is on, you know, all the stuff that's going on. He trying to get some booty. So, you know, he swindled her into getting her mind back in the right place. But then what happens? The wife called. She said she thought she was going into labor. She was having contractions. And so, low-key, I was like, sis faking. That's what I said, but I was like, I don't know. So, he runs out on Fakili. He tells her, hey, I gotta go. You know, Riley is going to the hospital, right? So, he left her high and dry. And I was like, y'all done had her business being in that hotel room together? No way, girl. So he goes to the hospital and the doctor's like, oh, they're Braxton Hicks. So, here he is telling her out his mouth, oh, I'll never leave you again like that, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, well, how was your meeting? And that's when I knew. I was like, sis, know that man was lying. I was like, she just tried to get him away from what, she knew he was out cheating. She just wasn't sure where. I was like, so sis was trying to get him away from whatever it was she thought he was doing. I was like, she lying. Pauline finds Brenda's Facebook page. She also found an article about the fact that she was arrested for just forging her signature basically on anything home affairs related. So she FaceTimes Wade and she's like, hey, we got to figure out what prison this woman is in, right? Over at Chris's place, Mark is confessing his like for Chris. And at this point, Chris has decided that he gonna do a flip-flop back and forth. He gonna be with Mark this day, be with Zama the next, be with Mark the day after that, and be with Zama the day after that. I was like, no, sir, we're not gonna do that. Well, you gonna pick somebody, and that's who you gonna be with. So, Zama pulls up on Chris getting the fellatio from Mark. She was like, what is going on? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever. So she takes off and runs over to Pauline's house. And she asked Pauline, she's like, did you know that Chris is pansexual? And Pauline was like, yeah, I knew. She was like, but I thought you knew too. And Zama's like, oh, I can't believe you didn't tell me. I'm like, girl, here we go. She's like, I thought you knew. Now, Pauline low-key knows she lying because she knows she didn't think that girl knew. Miss Zama tells Pauline that Chris had been asking all these questions about her, and that, so when she said that, Pauline put 2 and 2 together real quick. She was like, did you tell Chris what my real last name was? And Zama's like, oh, was I not supposed to?
Hush! You talk too much. Homegirl, you never shut.
I was like, that was not your business to tell. So, with this newfound information, she finds Chris, and he incriminated himself within 0.3 seconds. All she said was, I know you put the video together, and he was like, you can't prove that we did. She was like, we? Oh, so it was you and Fakili. So she went and found Fakili, and when she found Fakili, it was Fakili and KB, and she was like, hey, I know you and Chris, I just talked to Chris, I know it was you and Chris who put the video out. And so KB's like, now KB is all into, you know, he wants to be out of people's drama or whatever, so he was kind of trying to keep them apart, you know, he didn't want nobody to fight, but he was like, you know, this is some messy mess, I don't want to be a part of this. So Fakili was like, you can't prove nothing, you don't know nothing about me. And, well, y'all, they got into it out there. There was a slap here, a slap there, and Fakili also kicked Pauline. So when she kicked Pauline, I was like, girl, get up. The fight not over with, but I guess she felt like she had lost, so she just sat there. I was like, get up, girl. You better 1, 2, 1, 2, get up. So they end up, of course, in the principal office, because who come running up? The swim coach / boyfriend telling some of you, come on, let's go to the principal's office. So they meet in the principal's office with their parents. So you've got Pauline and her mom and dad, and you got Fakili and her mom and dad, right? So the principal starts telling them about, you know, this is, you know, grounds for suspension, and they start talking about the video. Well, remember, Pauline told the principal not to tell her parents, so they're like, what video? And so they have to Pauline's dad starts explaining what's going on. Now, when Pauline's dad started explaining the fact that he was being charged with trafficking his own child, when I tell you that Fakili's mother looked like she was having a whole panic attack and she was shook over there, I said, oh, she knows something. And Pauline noticed it too. She was all, I'm hot, I need some fresh air. Why you need some fresh air all of a sudden? You've been fine, because you was just in there about to tear Pauline's mama's eyes out, and she was about to tear yours out too. They was in there going toe to toe for their babies, and then now all of a sudden you need some air. You need some air because you about to get caught. That's what's going on. So Pauline's parents see the video and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, you know, this is going on or whatever. But you know, Fakili's dad had talked the principal out of suspending the girls. They made them, you know, apologize to each other, you know, it was fake, and it was dry, I'm sorry, that type thing. And then everybody went on about their business. Now when Pauline gets home, she, you know, still upset, she calls Wendy. Now we already know Wendy is messy. She called Wendy and she said, I got some tea for you, sis. She said, Fakili and the swim coach, I seen them kissing. She said, do with that tea what you will. If you want to spill it, sis. So at school, Wendy's actually at the school, because now it's come out that she didn't print the story. So she's there with her mother, and she's telling Wendy, you know, you can come back to school next day, following day, whatever. She's like, but you still can't be on the magazine. Her mom agrees to that. Her mom's like, yeah, I think that's good too. Now, Wade tried to tell Pauline that he found Brenda Jacka and where she was in prison. So he goes over to the prison. He finds her. She conned him out of some data for her cell phone in prison. And it was funny because he's like, y'all have phones in here? I was like, yeah, they have burner phones in there. Like, I see like people in jail doing TikToks and everything. Like, it just is what it is. And so he asked her, he was like, is this your signature on this birth certificate? She's like, yeah. She's like, but I did so many back then, some real, some fake, that she couldn't even tell the difference between the two. She was like, I don't know if this is real or if this is fake, but he does know that she did notarize fraud fake birth certificates. So this is a lead, right? This is a lead. He takes off and he's like, oh, I gotta go tell Paling. He's on his way over to her house. Well, Mr. KB is at his house wallowing in his sorrow because Paling is not paying him no mind, right? So he's telling his dad, and his dad is telling him, he's like, you're gonna have to do more effort than just call this girl and text her. He was like, go over there, see her, put in some effort, let her know that you want to pursue her and pursue whatever it is that y'all have going on. So KB goes over to her house, and her mom's not there at the time. Her brother is, though, being the annoying little brother that he is. And she's like, okay, let's just go talk in our room. So she goes and, they talk, and this really just leads to them having their kiss. They had their kiss, and when they had their kiss, guess who was outside the window? Wade was. So now he looking all sad and pitiful in the face, but she's been kind of letting him know this whole time that she's not really into him like that. She thinks of him as a friend. Wendy finally listened to Paling's little voice text that she sent her. And so she was in the process of actually packing up her stuff from the school, since she's not going to be on the magazine anymore. So when Pauline sent that to her, Wendy hopped on her computer real quick, typed up an old email to the principal, and was like, oh, I got some hot tea for you, sis. Like, let me come spill it in your office, because folks about to get fired. Somebody not about to be able to support his family. Finna be out on the street for messing with these children. I'm about to go to jail. Let me stop. So, I was like, oh, this is about to be some mess. Like, this is about to be scandal, 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 right? Paling's mom actually catches KB in her room. Thank God at this point, Paling is on her bed and KB's on the floor, so they're not, like, all up on each other. So she came in like she was mad, but then she invited him to dinner, but he was like, no, I can't stay. So, he left, and, of course, her mom was like, oh, who is he? How old is he? Paling don't even know how old that boy is. But, she's like, I don't know. So, anyway, over at Miss Fakili's house, right? Her mom is telling her how great she is and don't let what people say, get her down, this, that, and the third. And so, as her mom is leaving her room, she's like, Mom, where was I born? She was like, I was asked in the interview, and I couldn't even answer it. So, her mom busted out, oh, you was born at the house with a midwife. I was like, she telling a good old lie. And as soon as sis rounded that corner from that bedroom, she looked real suspicious. And what she did, she ran over there to her cell phone and she called somebody, and she was like, call me back. It's an emergency. Man, what is that about? What is an emergency? The truth, is that an emergency? Because you're about to be found out. Because what I think happened was, KB had let it out that to Paling, when he was at her house, he let it out that she, Mrs. Bailey, was having a hard time having kids, and then all of a sudden Fakili popped up, and they his dad calls her a miracle baby. So of course, they got Pauline like back on high alert too, like, okay, we need to get this done. You about to go to jail. You're gonna be right in the cell right next to Miss Jacka. They finna lock you up. They finna lock coach, the swim coach / boyfriend up. And anybody else did nothing that I know of. Y'all finna get locked up. Yeah, clink, clink. Well, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.